What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. This is your weekly reactor hunt video. I do one of these every week on Tuesday because every week on Tuesday they reset and essentially switch around where certain reactor archetypes drop from certain missions, and that allows you to do certain missions to essentially spot farm or target farm those reactors. Now I tend to pick missions that have a higher than usual reactors per hour drop rate, which means that you get more reactors bang for your buck and hopefully some decent reactors to drop for you. Now this video covers from the 7th until the 14th of Jan, and we're basically about a week and a half, I would say, ish out from the next big patch. We will hear more about that in this week, and of course you can expect an update to that on the channel as well. But specifically talking about reactors, how I compile this information is I have a table like this which has all of the best slot reactors for every descendant on it. We can combine that table then basically showing that certain descendants use the same reactor types as well as configurations, which means that while you are farming for one descendant, you could potentially also be farming for another. A very good example of that is this guy right in front of you here, who is Lepic, and he uses the same reactor as Esiemo. So if you're farming for Lepic, you're also farming for Esiemo, which happens to be burning mechanics, which is a fire tech reactor. Now I'm starting with these guys this week because coincidentally there is a decent farm this week for them. So if you are looking to farm a burning mechanics reactor, which is fire and tech, you'll want to be going over here, and we will go fire and we will go tech, and that'll give us an area called classified area. This is in the sterile land, and you're looking for this mission called large nuclear reactor. Now do this with a bunny or whichever descendant you have that has decent AoE, which will decrease the amount of time that it takes you to finish the mission. It mentions 10 minutes or less, but you'll definitely do it faster. You have this sort of central area here that you can just blast all the enemies, and the good news is they are melee enemies, so they are going to be carrying the reactors right to you so that you can bank them, and hopefully you get a decent reactor from that. Next up we have Jayber, Valby and Gley, or shall I say he who shall not be named.
My name is Jeff.
Valby and Gley. So all three of these descendants use materialized phase reactors or non-attribute dimension. And if you're looking for decent reactors for them this week, I have some good news for you as well. So basically we're going to go non-attribute and we are going to go dimension, and you have a mission called Mirage, or rather an area called Mirage Stone, which is in Agna Desert. It has an outpost over here which you can do in what is colloquially known as the Valby method. This can of course be done by Bunny as well. If you make her AoE small enough, it's also doable. But the point is, you essentially do this outpost, you kill all the reactors on the outer ring, and then essentially without killing the boss in the middle, you just skirt the outskirts and you just kill all the trash that spawns. That gives you about 2 minutes and 36 seconds of farming. That gives you a fair amount of character XP, weapon proficiency, Kuiper, gold, and of course the aforementioned reactors. Hopefully you can get some decent reactors that can kit either your he who shall not be named, Valby, or Gley. Then our last farm for the week specifically for reactors is one for Hailey, or a specific kind of Viessa. What I'm referring to is chill and singular, which is frozen singularity. So this is of course the reactor of choice for Hailey. Whether you are playing gun Hailey or snipe Hailey or anything like that, that is the reactor that you want to use for her. However, if you are trying to play a specific kind of Viessa, which happens to be like this, maybe I can just move here, which uses absolute zero as a transcendent module, then you'll want the same reactor. Usually she uses chill and tech, but if you are playing absolute zero, then you'll want the same thing. You'll want chill singular, which is frozen singularity, and that's because that transcendent mod, when you put it into ultimate Viessa, it changes all of her skills to singular. So it is absolutely the correct reactor for you to use in that case. Now if you're looking for a decent spot for that this week, I've got you covered. So we're going to go over here, we're going to go to chill, and we're going to go to singular, and it's going to give you Grand Square. And this is in Kingston, the very first area of the game, and there's a mission here called Kingston Surveillance Radar, which you can once again do with whatever you have that's fast and has AoE. Bunny comes to mind, Valby's good as well, Freyna works as well. Pretty much whatever you can farm fast with, because this is a quick little 3-minute mission where you essentially kill about, I think, 5 to 6, maybe 7 packs of enemies. And it's all within this small little area that you can just rinse, repeat, and essentially just pick everything up again and go, go, go. Then I do also every week give this a shout out, but this also happens to be a decent week for it. But you can also use this system here to search for or external components. So let's say, for example, you want to build like a farm set or something, and you just want to see some of the generic pieces, not necessarily, you know, set pieces. So if you want to get some external components that are gold, this is a good week. If you're looking for sensors and memory, specifically sensors, you go over to defense line. This is in fortress. The original Valby run sits here in this fortress here. So you can basically, well, sorry, in this outpost here. You can essentially do this as aforementioned by killing all the reactors on the outside ring and then just spending the entire 2.5 minutes killing all the trash, making sure that you deal enough damage to them to one-tap them, but not enough damage to deal a killing blow to the boss. The good news is the boss in this particular outpost is fairly tough-ish to just randomly kill, so you should be good to go. But if you farm this area, you're going to see an abundance of sensors dropping, and hopefully you can get some decent sensors dropping with some golden substats on for your farm set. At the same time as well, if you're looking for memory, good week as well. Repository, which is in Sterile Land, has a mission called Kuiper Mine. Kuiper Mine is one of these disable the mines missions that you can essentially do once again with an AoE character. Bunny works great here. Even if you don't have a AoE character, you can use Kingsguard Lance or something, or Freyna or Valby or whatever. But the point is, you go into this mission, you start it off, and then instead of dismantling any of the mines, you essentially spend the 5 minutes just killing all the enemies around the central area. They're going to drop a lot of gold, Kuiper, weapon proficiency, character XP, and you guessed it, you will see a huge amount of these memory modules, external components dropping, and hopefully you can get some decent gold ones in there as well. And that's going to be it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Not a lot of different farms going this week. It's another quietish week compared to, let's say, 2-3 weeks ago where we had multiple farms going, but we see this happening every, let's say, 3 to 4 to 5 weeks. Basically, we have like a couple of dead weeks, 1 or 2 of them. It is what it is. As more Descendants come out and we see more different reactor combinations coming out, this will be less of a factor. But at the moment right now, it is what it is. So this might be the perfect time for you to catch up on doing some Void Vessel runs or something like that, or playing another game. All of that stuff's good, and I'll see you when the new patch drops, which, like I said, is sometime next week, and I'll be sure to review it later the week on the channel. Other than that, as always, fucking cheers.